Greetings all. Welcome to our English class. I hope all of you are hale and hearty and also enjoying the online classes with best of your interest. Children, before going to proceed further, let us have a quick recap of what we did in the last class. We did the introduction and meaning of comprehension, which was followed up by how to concentrate on the given passage and important steps while doing the unseen passages or comprehension. We also did how to answer the provided questions and vocabulary strategies with 4 types of passages. So, children, getting well acquainted with all the above topics, you must have learned the way how to comprehend the passages. Good. Keeping your interest in mind, I have chosen few topics to discuss with you all. So let's start. Passage 1. It is based on Tansin, who was a famous singer in the court of Akbar. Let's start. Read the passage and answer the questions under them. So children, I request all of you to read this passage with me. Let's start. Tansin was King Akbar's favorite singer. One day, after Tansin had sung, Akbar was overjoyed and cried, "Is there anybody in the world who sings as beautifully as you?" "Swami Haridas, my teacher, sings far better than me," replied Tansin. "Send for him at once," said Akbar. "I would like to hear him." "Haridas won't come, my lord," said Tansin. "He is a holy man who obeys only the voice of God." "Take me to him," said Akbar eagerly. He rode with Tansin disguised as his instrument bearer. When they arrived at the ashram of Swami Haridas, Tansin requested his teacher to sing, but he refused. Then Tansin played a trick on his teacher. He began to sing and made a mistake on purpose. "No, no, you have gone wrong," cried Haridas. He sang it correctly and then sang on and on. Akbar was in rapture. What does this word rapture mean? Rapture means extremely happy or bliss, very joyous. So these words you need to understand when this kind of passage comes in your exams. When the singing stopped, Akbar and Tansin bowed low at the feet of Swami Haridas. As they rode slowly away from the ashram, they went silent. After reaching the court, Akbar asked, "Tansin, why can't you sing like that?" Tansin replied, "I have to sing at the command of my emperor." And Haridas sings at the command of the inner voice. So children, this was all about Tansin, the famous singer. Now you have to read the questions once. Then you will have the scanning of the passage once again. Okay, that is called the second reading. Now you will go through the questions once. Who was Tansin? Why did Akbar want to see Swami Haridas? Did Haridas know that it was Akbar who came with Tansin to his ashram? Why? Number 4. When Haridas refused to sing, Tansin played a trick on him. What was his trick? Number 5. Complete the sentence. What is the sentence written over here? Tansin was not able to sing like Haridas because dash. So you have to read the questions once, then you have to go back to the passage to get the answers correctly. So what should be the right answer of question 1? Who was Tansin? It's very easy to interpret the answer because it's written in the first line of the passage and you would all have got the answer easily. Good. So what could be the right answer? Tansin was King Akbar's favorite singer. Okay, this is enough for question 1. Who was Tansin? He was King Akbar's favorite singer. Then comes question 2. Why did Akbar want to see Swami Haridas? You all know this answer? Very good. It's very easy passage and you all can write all the answers correctly in your answer sheet. So let's see the answer that you have thought of is right or wrong. So the correct answer should be Akbar wanted to see Swami Haridas because he was highly impressed with Tansin's singing and also wanted to know who could sing better than Tansin. Isn't it? Right. So this is the correct answer. Then comes question 3. Did Haridas know what it was Akbar who came with Tansin to his ashram? So this is given in question 3. You have to find the correct answer. Here we have got 2 parts in this question 3. What are those 2 parts? First, did Haridas know that it was Akbar who came with Tansin to his ashram? You have to write yes or no with the complete statement. Then you have to also answer for why. So let's see what should be the correct answer. No, Haridas did not know that it was Akbar because he was in the disguise of instrument bearer. Okay, I have given you both the answers of question 3, though you have to make it into 2 different parts. First you will write no, Haridas did not know that it was Akbar who came with Tansin to his ashram. This is first part of question 3. Then you have to write the second part, why. So you will again write the complete statement. No, Haridas did not know that it was Akbar because he was in the disguise of instrument bearer. Alright? Very good. Let's move on to question 4. When Haridas refused to sing, Tansin played a trick on him. What was his trick? You know, all of you know what is trick? Yes. So you have to get the answer quickly if you have understood the passage nicely. Good. So now the correct answer for question 4 is Tansin. When Haridas refused to sing, Tansin played a trick. What was that trick? You have to write. Tansin began to sing and made a mistake purposely. Isn't it? He made a mistake on purpose. What is written in the passage? You can just check the passage again if there is any doubt. So the correct answer is Tansin began to sing and made a mistake purposely, which forced Haridas to sing. This was the trick which was played by Tansin, because you already know after reading the passage that Haridas was not ready to sing for Tansin. Isn't it? He refused to sing when Tansin requested when Tansin requested Haridas, Haridas refused to sing. So there was a trick that he played and made him sing. Question 5. Complete this sentence. Tansen was not able to sing like Haridas because dash. What could be the right answer? Yes, because Haridas sings at the command. What is the answer here? Tansen was not able to sing like Haridas because Haridas sings at the command of his inner voice, not by any external command. He only listens his inner voice. Children, it's very important. You should have a passion, you should have dedication to acquire something from your within. If there is any external force who is pulling you and pushing you, dragging you to achieve something, then it would be only momentary. So this is what written in this answer. Tansen was not able to sing like Haridas because Haridas sings at the command of his inner voice, not at any external command. So this was all about Tansen, the famous singer. Passage 2. It is based on a beautiful poem, Shadow. And you would have already heard about shadow. What is it? In science and scientific facts, you must have learnt about shadow. Yes, so let's read this poem. Let's read all together. Shadow. I have a little shadow that goes in and out with me. And what can be the use of him is more than I can see. He is very, very like me, from the heels up to the head. And I can see him jump before me when I jump into my bed. The funniest thing about him is the way he likes to grow. Not at all like the proper children, which is always very slow. For he sometimes shoots up taller like an Indian rubber ball. And he sometimes gets so little that there's none of him at all. One morning, very early, before the sun was up, I rose and found the shining dew on every buttercup. But my lazy little shadow, like an errant sleepy head, had stayed at home behind me and was fast asleep in bed. So children, this is all about the poem Shadow. It is an important topic of light and its shadow in science, and you must have heard about it. Good. Let's answer these questions. Number 1. What does his shadow do when the boy jumps into his bed? If you have read the poem carefully, you can interpret the answers easily. So you would have seen the line number 7 and 8 where it is clearly mentioned, and I can see him jump before me when I jump into my bed. So this is all about the shadow. Let's see what could be the right answer. His shadow goes in and out with him. This is all clear to everyone. So what can we write there in this answer number 1? When the boy jumps into the bed, shadow always chases him and jumps before him into his bed. Right? This is all enough for question 1. Then comes question 2. In what way is the shadow unlike children? Unlike means not like, as it's given in the next stanza. What is here? The funniest thing about him is the way he likes to grow, not at all like proper children, which is always very slow. So, what is the difference between shadow and the children, or we can say proper children? Let's see the answer. 2. His shadow we can say the shadow is unlike children as he likes to grow. What likes to grow? The shadow likes to grow, which is not at all like proper children who grow very slow. They take time to grow, but shadow, it keeps growing taller or shorter. You would have understood the scientific concept as during the day, during the high sunlight, you can see the shadow gets very small, right? And during the dawn or in the night, you can see the shadow is growing very tall. Here shadow is unlike children as he likes to grow, which is not at all like proper children who grow very slow. Then comes question 4. Why does the boy think his shadow is lazy? You can all understand that when do we say the person is lazy? When the person does not show his activeness and does not involve himself into the actions. Yes, so here also the same thing lies. As shadow remains in the bed, what would you write here? In answer 4, why does the boy think his shadow is lazy? Because he is not able to see his shadow, and when something is not being seen, we'll think that he or she is still in the bed, or he or she is not involving himself or herself into the actions. So what could be the right answer? The boy thinks his shadow is lazy as it was fast asleep in the bed, because he is not able to see his shadow anymore. Okay, then comes question 5. When the boy went out one morning, the shadow was not with him. Why? You would have been able to get this answer easily. Why? Because this is all written in the first few lines. Why? When the boy went out one morning, the shadow was not with him. This is also written even in the last few lines. Also it is mentioned clearly. Why? As the boy woke up very early before the sun was up. You could see in the second last stanza that one morning very early before the sun was up, I rose and found the shining dew on every buttercup. So the right answer would be as the boy woke up very early before the sun was up, and sun was shining very little, with the shining dew on every buttercup. Sun was very little at the time of dawn. You can see the sun takes time and it grows very slowly. So this is all about answer 5. I hope you would have understood this kind of comprehension in which the poem is given and you have to interpret it into your words, and you have to write it in your words. So this way you have to complete the given poetry in the exam. Passage 3, it's all about feeding the birds. You would have heard about this hobby, and it's very lovable hobby. You will come to know much more about this hobby here. Let's read. Feeding the birds. Huma never understood the pleasure that her parents took in feeding birds every day. Huma is the name of the girl here, and she has seen the pleasure, she has enjoyed, understood the pleasure that her parents took in feeding birds every day. On the first day of her summer vacation, Huma's father told her that she would feed the birds till her holidays were over. Thus, Huma was supposed to roll tiny orbs of dough from the kitchen and lay them out for the birds to eat. Huma could think of many reasons to simply skip this duty. She did not like the sticky dough on her hands, and most of the birds that stopped by were crows. Pigeons came occasionally. The squirrels too would climb up once in a while. But the crows would always scare them away with a single flutter of their dark wings. After a few weeks of feeding the birds, Huma realized that the crows had started flying in as soon as she started laying out their food. Whenever she would fail to feed the crows, a few of them would perch on the terrace and caw until she would go and feed them. Though Huma was initially a little fearful of their close presence, she liked the feeling of being among the birds. Feeding the cawing crows became a fun and happy task for Huma. She kept on feeding the birds even after her vacation ended. Exercise A. Complete the following sentences in your words. What you have to do, children, you have to read the following sentences and complete them in your words. Number 1. Huma had mixed feelings in the beginning about dash. Number 2. Through new chore, Huma understood why her parents dash. And number 3. Huma was happy in the end because dash. So you have to complete these sentences in your words. Exercise B. Answer the following questions. What was the new task assigned to Huma at the beginning of her summer vacation? Number 2. Why was Huma unwilling to feed the birds? Number 3. What do you think changed Huma's perspective about feeding the birds? So this is all about the exercise of passage 3, that is based on feeding the birds. I hope this passage is understood to you, and now this is your today's prep. You have to read the passage once again. After going through all these questions, you have to scan the paragraph once again. Okay, after scanning the whole passage, you will write down these answers in your notebook. I hope the aim of doing this comprehension is clear to everyone. Children, I hope after understanding these passages, you must be feeling confident to attempt some more comprehensions on your own. And we will also be practicing them in the forthcoming weeks before the terminal exams. Thank you so much.